Coming in, and the first set of players that go in and they're able to traverse the pendulum, then they can disable it. And then the next set of players that come in, the set of players that are ahead can re-enable it on them, so the trap's on them. So then the purge going back and forth, sort of one of the many obstacles.
That's gonna be wicked.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty badass.
It's gonna be awesome.
What is this? Community?
No cameras yet! Get out of here!
Alright, so we're coming up to Mark Davis's office. He's the associate producer in charge of live events. How's it going, Mark?
It's going good. Absolutely. We are doing an event, we're calling it Bitter Rivals, which is between the, like you said, the Slayer and the Champa, who have been rivals for a very long time. And similar to heavy metal, we've got some really cool stuff coming that players are gonna absolutely gonna love. The big one, of course, is the Twisting Tower scenario. It's its own unique scenario. No one's ever seen this one before, and it represents some of the very finest stuff we've done in scenarios. The coolest part about it, I think, is sort of the whole bit on the tower itself. It's literally twisting and turning as you play inside, so you'll see the whole world that is spinning around. So if you have motion sickness, you might want to bring along a bag, because you might get a little ill. But
some Dramamine.
Yeah, some Dramamine maybe. It's pretty fun though. There's some neat mechanics that actually sends the player soaring through the air as they go from the ground up to the tower itself, which is spinning in the middle, and some really neat explosions at the end. I don't want to give away too many secrets yet, but players are going to have a lot of fun with it. And there's a lot of things you can do inside the scenario itself, which unlocks the challenges that you can take place in. And there's different rewards, just like with heavy metal. There's a basic, advanced, and elite reward, with elite being premier early access to those two new careers, so people can get a head start if they do the event. Yeah, actually, I do have a memorable experience I like to tell people about, and I have a 5-year-old son at home, and he and I like to play Warhammer together. And a few months ago, we were playing in Tier 1, Empire and Chaos' scenario called Nordland Watch. And we were playing Order. I was playing my engineer, he was playing his Ironbreaker, and we were at the barracks, which is really close to the destruction spawn point, and Order was pinned down, and the scenario really seemed to be stalemating right there. No side could push one side or the other out. And my son shows up, and being 5 years old, he has no fear whatsoever. He just runs straight out and right into the destruction army. And it was amazing. They all sort of turned and started running and falling back, and that caused everyone on our side to start running at him. And we had this great, huge moment of the entire destruction force running back to their spawn point as my 5-year-old son is pushing them all back, and we're all following him. I had to actually scream at him to tell him to stop before you get all the way to the spawn point, before the guards to wipe him out. It was a pretty momentous occasion for me. And every time I think about my most exciting moment in Warhammer, it was watching my 5-year-old son chase an entire 2 groups of destruction across the battlefield.
We've got Jim Crowley and Jeremiah Hannon. Hello.
Hello. How are you? No.
Okay, so why won't there be female Slayers then?
Just simply doesn't fit into the lore.
Okay.
And the ESRB would kill us if there were topless female dwarves running around.
True.
Oh, topless female I'm gonna go this way now. Here's somebody that many of you beta players will recognize, Spike the Wookiee Alexander. Hey Spike.
What's up, Andy? How's it going, man? Oh, dude, without a doubt. I was sad when the Champa was pulled back in the day, and us adding the Slayer back in, or adding the Slayer in as opposed to the Hammer, I think it's a big win for the Dwarfs.
I think that the Combat and Careers team is doing a balance meeting in here right now, so let's see if maybe we can peek in on them and see what's going on.
When is that actually going to BTS? Is that not
BTS?
Is that
February.
So it's not going to
You still have a camera.
I think it's worked out pretty well. One of the things that people like to talk about is I can hear you. One of the things that people like to talk about is actually like a population. It's always one of the things that we were super concerned with early, and we're actually pretty pleased with how the population itself has balanced out. So we use that as one of our indications of how we handle the mirrors between the two sides. You know, obviously, if one mirror is way more powerful than the other, when we see populations start to shift that way. So in that regard, we're pretty happy with how it's come out. For the actual balancing, the nice thing that mirroring does is it kind of lets us I mean, even though we have 24 classes, it kind of lets us break it down to just 12, where we can do work on a single mirror type, and we kind of catch balance on both realms at the same time. It helps us worry a little less about, are we making order way more powerful than destruction, or destruction way more powerful than order, by working in these mirrors over and over and over again.
I think it's a great time. We just put in the Night in the Blackguard a little while back. We've got people saying, hey, new toys. It's a great time that they had a little time to get accustomed to that, to throw them some more new toys. And the Slayer and Chopper are both going to be a lot of fun. Once they get in, they're going to fill out some few remaining holes we have in our whole mirror. You're never done making an MMO. You're never done balancing it. If you'd said, we should wait until we're done balancing before we do new stuff, there would never, ever, ever be new stuff.
Yeah, not to mention, we're just constantly balancing them. Like, Rob, Grant, Steve, if your classes aren't balanced, you hate these guys, because that's all they do is balance your classes over and over and over and over again.
I know this is an office that a lot of people are interested in right here, and it looks like Mark is actually in the office and reading something. What are you reading there, Mark?
Nothing.
Nothing? Oh.
A book.
A book.
A book.
How's it
An
going?
important book. Just fine.
Awesome.
How about you?
Good. Doing a little tour of the studio for the good folks at the Warhammer Vault.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Figuring out how to keep the guys on the Vault happy. Only partially untrue. I mean, what is true is that I think the hardest part of making an MMO is meeting the expectations of the players. This is something I've said during development of this game, during development of Camelot, is that when you look at any MMO and you do the things that we do the things that we need to do during its development, whether it's the design of the game, whether it's the execution of that design, whether it's the marketing of the game, it's very, very difficult to live up to the expectations that we absolutely help build, but also that the players build. And I think that if you look at all the aspects of making an MMO, obviously once you get past the whole, oh my god, we didn't even release it bit, meeting the players' expectations is the greatest challenge. One of the things that I've said, for months now, is that we're not going to start on an expansion right now. Okay, we haven't started on it yet. We've talked about some things, of course. But the key right now, and the key certainly for quite a while, is going to be to make Warhammer the best game that it can be, without worrying about, oh boy, what are we going to do a year or so down the road to help sell more boxes. It's just, obviously, it's something that every successful MMO has done. Camelot certainly did it. EverQuest, well, of course, we all do it. But right now, our focus is on Warhammer, the live game, not on the expansion. On the other hand, I think you can pretty much look to us when we're ready to do the expansion to try to do not just an expansion. Not an expansion that, just like we did with Camelot, other than Trials of Atlantis, just to all you Vault guys, but an expansion that's going to take longer. We're going to spend more time on it. We're not going to try to rush that out the door. Blizzard has shown very well that if you take the time, as they did with Burning Crusade, to get that right, it will pay off. And that pretty much had broken the mold for MMOs. Most of us, if not all of us, were pretty much on the, hey, year after release, you come out with an expansion. We are not looking at that, but as soon as, frankly, we know, I have a sneaking feeling the Vault will know.
So, Andy told me that he's doing a tour of the studio video, and I asked him, have you talked to Paul? Because what Mythic video would be complete without a little bit of Barnet? So Paul's actually in the middle of something at the moment. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but as you all know, he never wants to miss the opportunity to be on film. So we'll just come over here and we'll see what he's doing.
Go away! I'm working!
Go
Josh!
talk.
Is that you?
It's Andy, Paul. He needs to talk to you.
Josh, rub me.
Where, sir?
Rub me everywhere, Josh.
All at once?
I can feel the magic. It's beginning to happen. I feel unusual.
It's the creative process.